Hey guys, this is Gabriel Lorenzi, creator of the blog Grupo Dicas, one of the biggest travel blogs in the world, and today I'm here to tell you all about car rental in Spain, how to make a rental, what documents are needed, how to get a great car for an incredible price, and you will save a lot with these tips. So these tips are going to be very quick, useful, and not boring. So enjoy the video guys, give us the like, subscribe to the channel, that helps us a lot, and buckle up. Well, many people who go to Spain end up choosing to rent a car. One of the reasons is that car rental there is very cheap. It's much cheaper than in some other places in the United States or in some other places in Europe. It's very nice to drive. The roads are very beautiful. They're very organized. The roads are very easy and very quiet. And the cities in Spain are beautiful. The interior of Spain is very beautiful. Passing through Seville, through Valencia, through Madrid, through Barcelona. There are many nice cities for you to visit. So we decided to give you the tips because it is a doubt that many people have when closing a car rental. There are several doubts that we'll see that surely you also have. We think it can help you, so stay tuned for the tips. Our tip is, if you're going to stay only in Barcelona or only in Madrid, those big cities, it's not worth renting the car. You can get around by walking because things are close by. You can take a cab, an Uber, a subway, or you have other alternatives. But the nice thing about the car is that you can get to know the other cities, take a tour, look at the itinerary and organize it, because there's a lot of nice itineraries in Spain. So we are going to focus on people who want to rent a car to get to know practically the whole country. There are people who sometimes go to Portugal. You can go to there because it's very close. If you have many days to travel, it's a very nice trip to make too and visit both countries. Well, the first question everybody asks when they want to rent a car is, what documents do I need to drive a car there? Actually, it's very easy. Just like in almost every other country in Europe, you just need your national driver's license. Make sure it has not expired if it's within the correct period of time. But with your driver's license, with your passport, and with your credit card enabled there for international purchases, these are the three items that the car rental companies require so you can rent easily. Another item that everybody asks, is it difficult to drive there? It's very easy. We found it very easy. The roads are very good, the streets are good, and everything is well signposted. People are even a little more polite than we are used to in our country's traffic. In the traffic, we found people to be more friendly, and in short, we will not have any difficulty driving, as we did not have any difficulty anywhere else in Europe. We found it very easy to drive, especially there, so it's quiet, there's no problem, and you don't need to be worried or nervous because it's a very nice place, and the experience is even better when you get to know the country all by yourself. Another tip that's the most important is how to save a lot of money and find your car there. What happens, there are several big car rental companies there. There are some ones that are gigantic in Europe and worldwide, so we recommend that you go to the bigger ones to avoid headaches. We have done it with smaller ones and we ended up having one problem or another, so we all use the big ones, the Alamo Europe Car, $56 budget, Avis, and National. There are several companies, they are all good and very similar. So what do we recommend? That obvious tip, search them all because the price varies. Some have promotions and you will get a much cheaper price by searching them all, but you don't need to look everywhere. There's a car price comparator that's sensational. We'll even leave the link here in the description of the video, along with all the other links of tools there that we use and we save a lot on your trips. It compares all the car rental companies, so you put in the date of your trip and it will list all the available car rental companies by car category, which is very nice, and you can guarantee the best price and rental guaranteed there. They have the price sometimes even much cheaper than the rental companies themselves, because as they are the biggest comparator practically in the world, they have very strong negotiations with the rental companies, and their prices end up being even better than going to the rental company and renting with them. So just by using the price comparator that will leave the link here, you will save a lot. We always use it. It's always the best prices. The other tip is to book in advance, like the hotel too. The lodging, the sooner you do it, the cheaper you pay, because it works on demand. As people are renting cars and they run out of stock for the day, the price goes up. The sooner you do it, the more car options you have. You have a chance to get a nicer car and get a much better price than leaving it until closer to the trip. And within this advanced booking tip is to make an advanced reservation online using the comparator or some other site, because sometimes people leave their car rental there. It's the worst option because you will pay more. The purchase will be in euros. You will pay all the taxes and fees. You run the risk of not having the car at the time. You'll lose time there, 1 or 2 hours to do the process. And finally, book it first. Book it on the internet, which is much easier, cheaper, and much faster too. So don't lose time. Do it online. Another important tip is insurance. And what happens whenever you rent a car, when you are there on the website, you will see that it's already included. Obligatory is the basic insurance. That is against theft, robbery, and accidents. This you have to have. It's very important, but the rental companies try to push some other extra insurance for glass breaking, scratches, and several other things. In our opinion, over all these years, it's not worth it because it's a high cost and we never needed to use it. It may happen and you may need it, but in our experience and with all the people we talked to, don't take this insurance. If there's an option take some extra insurance, don't go there because it's not worth it and the price is high. You end up saving a lot if you don't take this insurance that will appear even more in the middle of the way. And another item that comes up is the GPS rental. You need the GPS to locate yourself because you don't know the country you are visiting. But what happens? The rental companies charge around €6, sometimes 7 to rent the GPS per day, so you can use their GPS in the car. But if you buy an internet chip to use your cell phone abroad, you will pay cheaper than what you would pay to use that GPS for 8 days, I don't know, 10 days. You buy a chip so you can use your cell phone internet at will during your whole trip, so you will pay cheaper for the chip than you would pay for the GPS, and you can use your cell phone as a GPS that works very well. We'll even leave here in the description of the video the link to the chip we always use there in the last trip. We found it very good and tried several because there are many. There is one that has excellent signal. It worked even in the countryside cities, sometimes in beaches that were further away. It worked everywhere and they are very good. We bought it and they delivered it in a few days to our house. We received it quickly and traveled with it. We put in the cell phone and arrived using it. It was very good. You can recharge it, use the app to track it, and finally they are very good. There's a chat if you need to ask questions, help to know which is the best chip, to do some research. I'll leave the link here below, and it was possible to use the cell phone during the whole trip. So don't rent the GPS and buy the chip. It's the cheaper and better. Another tip when you rent the car there, pay attention and ask about the fuel because we are used to our country. Sometimes you travel and don't even realize it. When you need to fill up the tank, you won't know which is the right fuel for that car. In Europe in general, most cars are already being made with diesel, but it's always good to ask so you don't have these doubts when you fill up. And the price to fill up is not expensive. For us who are used to our country, it ends up being even cheaper. You will find it very cheap to rent a car there, just like in the United States for us who are used to our country, which is much more expensive. So you end up paying a very fair amount there, so we'll see that's not expensive. Now talking about the tolls too, a lot of people have this doubt, but any big car rental company that we recommend you to rent the car, they already have the plates registered in the toll system. So generally you can go straight to your credit card, the one you left when you rented the car. It makes the charge later when the report arrives at the end of the month of the car that has everything right with the city hall and with the toll companies, and then you're charged automatically. But the tolls are not expensive, it's very cheap, and the values are much lower than we are used to in our country. So pay attention to that, but the tolls are going straight to the credit card. And another important item for those who are traveling with children and need a chair. So when you make the reservation, you see that the option already appears for you to choose. It's super easy, and at least in this comparator here that we use, it already offers you the options there according to the age and weight of the child you select. When you pick up the car, you confirm okay, but generally they offer you the car seat. You put it there, install it without any problem. But take a look because it's important. Don't risk traveling without a car seat because they really fine you. They are very strict with these safety issues over there. And to finish, there's the category of the car. So take a look, there's not one that's better or worse, it's up to each one. There are the economic categories that are much cheaper. They are the popular cars there in Europe. These cars are very small. Regardless of the country you're going to rent, there are those very small cars that are much cheaper, and there are cars just a little larger, SUVs, full-size sedans, and so on. So you see, our recommendation, if you're going to be around the city more, get the economy one, save a little bit. It doesn't make that much of a difference, and the cars are good. But if you're going to go on the road, make longer trips, spend a little more, which is not much either, when you upgrade to a higher category, you will see that the difference is not high, it's even low. Sometimes it's worth it to have some comfort, to not have problems on the road, to have bigger trunk space. Pay attention to the trunk because sometimes we forget it. We are with those giant suitcases. Sometimes we come back with more suitcases than we arrived with because we bought some things there on the trip, so you have to check the trunk too so you don't have problems. And finally, following all these tips, you will be able to save a lot on car rental in Spain. You can save a lot and you will see that it's easy. Knowing these tips now, you'll be able to book quickly and you won't have the main doubts and beginners mistakes that we made the first time we traveled. So I think it will help you a lot when it comes to time to rent. And don't forget to use the comparator because it helps a lot. I'll leave the link here in the description. Just click under show more, you will see all the links. We organized it so you can also use the travel insurance comparator, which is similar. It compares all the insurance companies there. Insurance is mandatory for Europe, so make your own. Don't fail to do it because it's mandatory, but you will save a lot and get good prices with this comparator. There is the chip to use the internet, and there's the ticket site that we always buy, which is much cheaper for all the attractions in Spain. There's also the train comparator if you do want to take a train during your trip, and finally there's everything. It's organized step by step with all the tools we use on your trips. And that's it, guys. I hope you enjoyed the video. If you like it, please give us a like and subscribe to the channel because it helps us a lot. And follow us on social networks. We are always traveling around the world trying to show our travel tips in a very cool way, and our routine with our little one that's very cool and very relaxed. And when you're traveling and you make your trip there to Spain, tag us at @Lorenzi in your story so I can repost your story. What is very cool is that people like to see other people's trips, and we like to follow how your trip is going to be. And don't forget to watch the video about how to save a lot in Spain. We made a step-by-step guide with everything you need to set up your whole trip, saving as much as possible in everything. It's sensational. It's the best video we made from Spain. I'll leave it here along with the playlist with the other videos from Spain for you to organize your trip yourself. So thanks a lot, guys. Have a nice trip.